Hello, I'm Carmen. I'll share to you about the second part of the book of Leviticus. But before we go on, may I ask you a few questions. Number one is, in what way are you growing more like Christ? Answer, by deepening our knowledge of Christ through the Bible. Number two, what is the theme of Leviticus? Answer, sanctification. Because God communicates to the people that they should obey the laws because God's forgiveness and acceptance follow a holy living and spiritual growth. Now, let's talk about Leviticus chapters 8 to 27. And please read it alone as I tell you about its significance. The setting of Leviticus takes place at Mount Sinai while the Israelites were on their way to Canaan, the land of promise. The personalities of Leviticus include Moses as the leader, Aaron, Moses' big brother, the priests, and the appointed speaker, Nadab and Abihu, the two eldest sons of Aaron, that according to the Leviticus chapter 10, offered a sacrifice with foreign fire, or unauthorized fire to God, disobeying his instructions, and were immediately consumed by fire also because of disobedience. And the other sons of Aaron, Eleazar and Ithamar, whom God instructed Moses to tell them not to mourn, for they had been consecrated with oil and were to remain at the tabernacle on pain of death. For the Levites, God gave them instructions to never drink alcohol when they enter the tent of meeting, and told them how to present the food offerings. The instructions of Leviticus emphasize ritual, legal, and moral practices rather than beliefs. These personal instructions of God to man reflects the picture of the creation story in Genesis 1, that God desires to live with humanity. Leviticus teaches that if done with faithfulness, the sanctuary rituals can make the people avoid sin and impurity, since it could gain them purification and forgiveness. In chapters 8 to 10, contain God's instructions for the priests or Levites, while chapters 11 to 15 are the significant procedures to be followed with regards to eating the right food to avoid sickness and diseases and many others. In chapter 16, Moses gives instruction about the Day of Atonement to be done every year with the high priest to clean and prepare themselves ceremonially, procedures of which is detailed in this way. The high priest enters the Holy of Holies and offers a sacrifice to God for sins on behalf of the entire nation of Israel. Chapters 17 to 27 speak of the laws about sexual immorality and idolatry, land laws, laws for priests, religious festivals, and celebrations like the Sabbath and the year of Jubilee. Laws were given to make the Israelites understand about the holiness of God and his desire for the chosen people to be holy like him. Now, how do we apply this to practical way of living? Since the theme is holiness, it also binds the Christians today. In 1 Peter chapter 1 verses 15 to 16 and Leviticus chapter 19 verse 2 say, like the Holy One who called you, be holy yourselves also in all your behavior, because it is written, you shall be holy, for I am holy. And Romans chapter 12 verse 1 says, therefore I urge you, brothers and sisters, in view of God's mercy, to offer your bodies as a living sacrifice, holy and pleasing to God, and this is your true and proper worship. As God's people, our calling is to reflect God's holiness wherever we are and whatever we do. Whether you are at home or in your workplace, be holy so that you will reflect the presence of God. You are made to be bearers of God's light to others. So obey God in every way. This enlivens our motivation to love our country, our community, and our fellow men. With this, we can see the fulfillment of God's word in Leviticus chapter 26 verses 11 to 12, saying, I will place my dwelling in your midst, and I shall not abhor you, and I will walk among you, and I will be your God, and you shall be my people. So love God above all, and love others as yourself. Thank you for listening. Till next time, bye!